everyone! It is Wednesday and it's a late video today. Late meaning that I'm recording it really late because you can tell that it's kind of dark outside, even though you can't see outside. My face looks a little bit more darker than usual, but I'm excited to be here. Today we're going to be talking about something called the backdoor spike. Is this my truth? Did I find my truth? Oh God, those moments of I am not experiencing anxiety anymore. Does this mean that I found my truth? Which is actually a term called the backdoor spike. I'm not exactly sure who came up with the term. I know that there are some amazing therapists and psychologists who do OCD work, like Stephen Phillipson and the OCD Institute in Los Angeles, and I know that they commonly talk about the backdoor spike, but I'm not exactly sure who really first came up with the term. So we're going to dive into all of that today. We're going to dive into the topic of the backdoor spike and that question of did I find my truth? And then I'm going to also be talking about how our OCD can be really comfortable and a bit of an addictive thing. And I'm talking from my personal experience. I'm talking from the course members that I work with. This specific topic has actually been coming up because a lot of course members have been asking me about it. They have been saying to me, hey Kiyomi, I've been experiencing this thing where I'm feeling really anxious, but then all of a sudden I don't feel anxious and I feel as though I've found my truth and that I have to leave. I'm curious how many of you maybe as a watcher, experience this specific obsessive anxious thought. Did I find my truth? Did I find my clarity? So we're going to dive into all of that today. Sufferers of relationship obsessive compulsive disorder in this specific channel pay so much attention on how they feel, how they don't feel, their emotions, their experience, how they should be feeling, and how they shouldn't be feeling. There's this heightened awareness and sense of responsibility on how the sufferer feels or how they shouldn't feel. Not only is this awareness intense, where there's a constant checking of feelings, but there's also this underlying belief that our emotions are there to tell us if we should leave our partner or we shouldn't leave our partner. This causes so much confliction and chaos within our mind because first and foremost, our emotions are constantly changing. Our experience as being human is constantly changing. One moment we might be anxious, and the next moment we might not be anxious. One moment we might be feeling completely numb, and the next moment we might be feeling not numb at all. There's an underlying belief in all of this where many ROCD sufferers will go, okay, if I feel anxious about leaving my partner, that means that I shouldn't leave my partner. Or if I feel as though I'm feeling obsessive, then that means that I shouldn't leave my partner because I will miss my partner. So this whole idea of if I feel anxious, then that means I need to stay with my partner becomes a compulsion. It becomes an obsession, and it actually becomes the monitor to whether a person should leave or not. So there's this point in ROCD for many people where they are experiencing a lot of anxiety, and then all of a sudden, as they are getting better or they're fluctuating through the different emotions and the transitions, they will notice that they've come to a point where they're not experiencing anxiety. All of a sudden, that individual will go, where did the anxiety go? What happened to the anxiety? I'm not feeling anxious. Does that mean I have to leave my partner? I'm not feeling anxiety. Does that mean that my partner is not right for me? And they will start experiencing anxiety on top of the anxiety of the mind saying that they might need to leave their partner. It's a backdoor spike because you feel as though the anxiety is gone and you found some sort of truth or clarity, but in reality, it's just that your mind has gotten used to what's been going on, or you're just going through that recovery period of not feeling much anxiety anymore. In reality, from my own personal experience, I remember having so much physical anxiety that I would just go numb. It was too much for my body. And that numbness or that disassociation or kind of those periods of feeling lull or calm would make me feel as though I have found some sort of truth, and that would spiral me back into that anxiety. It's also important to recognize that for many people, we think that anxiety is just the physical symptoms. If I feel uncomfortable in my stomach, if I feel my heart palpitating, if I feel anxious, then that means I'm anxious. But in reality, you can be experiencing anxiety without the common physical symptoms. If I'm sitting here and I'm not experiencing any anxiety in my body, but I'm experiencing these what if thoughts and these shoulds and what if this happens and what if that happens, I am actually experiencing anxiety. With that being said, many of you might not recognize that anxiety can be very, very comfortable, especially if you've experienced it for many years of your life, through childhood, through adolescent years. If anxiety is something that you're used to, then it can be a comfortable coping mechanism, because anxiety is a coping mechanism. It gives us a sense of false control. It makes us feel like we have control of situations. It makes us feel as though prevent something bad from happening, but it's all a coping mechanism. On the flip side, for many people, they might not be experiencing the anxiety and going, oh my God, that means I need to leave my partner or not, but they might feel as though they want to bring up the anxiety or bring up a specific thought of leaving their partner just so they could feel that anxiety. For instance, if they're sitting around and they're like, oh, would I want to cheat on my partner? Does that person look attractive? If they check in with themselves and start feeling anxiety, then that actually can give them the sense of comfort that they don't need to leave their partner. So it's all this huge thing for the brain to find some sort of way to cope and some sort of certainty and some sort of control. A couple things that you could do, or that I've done within myself and my course members have done as well, is to recognize the backdoor spike, is to recognize this whole idea of, oh, did I find my truth because I'm not feeling anxious anymore? Just because you're not feeling anxious doesn't mean that you are not in anxiety. And for a lot of times, the body is just so tired of being in that anxious state that it kind of just numbs out and it goes into a lull. Also, as you're progressing through anxiety, you start to understand how to manage it. So anxiety doesn't become so much of a threat to you anymore. And also learning coping mechanisms to help alleviate the anxiety. I mean, there's so much that really goes into it. So again, understanding the backdoor spike can be really helpful. Again, watch your what ifs. What ifs are considered a cognitive distortion. So really watch when your mind goes, what if this? What if that? What if this? That is when we're stuck in that anxious loop. So that's it for today on the backdoor spike. Next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit more on why ROCD feels so real. And I get that. I totally get that. And again, as always, if you're new, feel free to download the free ROCD checklist. You can go to awakenintolove.com by finding that. And if you're wanting to find freedom from ROCD, if you're wanting to find more relief from ROCD, then you can check out the ROCD course and community. There's an amazing community that's attached to the course, which I highly suggest you joining if you want to be in a community of people who are super supportive and always cheering each other on and having each other's back. It's an incredible community. As always, I will be here next week. I hope you guys have an awesome week. It is starting to get really cold over here. Thanksgiving is tomorrow in the US. It's always so wonderful being here. Thank you guys for coping with my light situation. And I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. And I hope you guys have a good week. Here's to being human. Talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.